What's up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters: Adam Hart, Lua Tomarelli Lou, Odd Hamster, Lady Susano, Navid, Alex Soli, Nia Vui, Nog Compass, Shadowman, Brianna, Mary Elizabeth, Zero Bad Arts, Hammerface1, Trey Roberson, Zach Nelson, Azuma, Nell, Jacob Sumter, Dylan Keene, The Flumex, Jeremy James, Mikkel Ray Jr. Greeley, Drew Houts, Abigail Stemper, Vocaloider 97, Kit Brimhall, Corbin Baker, Zach Manross, Keegan Richard, Samantha Bolin, Eddie Reinhardt, iCup, UCup, You Know What You Did, Daniel, Giuseppe Soakorv, and Brandon Chap. And as always, I'd like to give a big shout out to our executive producer, the Anime Hybrid. Thank you all very much for your support. And if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free to click the link down below to find out more. We'll see you there.
Whoa! Where did you come from? Check it out, or you're gonna die! You know what? I need to do something about this because I'm not having enough fun playing this game. Yo! Now that I've got you right where I want you, I'm challenging you to a Pokemon battle, sucker! Get out of here! Me and you!
Conventions! We were actually going to do a convention in July, but, you know, a certain event, a big world event, saw to the end of that. So, yeah. You remember one of the last conventions that we went to, Conapalooza? We had an awesome time.
Absolutely.
We met Veronica Taylor, a.k.a. Ash Ketchum from the first 8 seasons of Pokemon.
Crazy.
We also ran into some of your fellow compatriots of pro wrestling.
That's true.
Shane Daniels and Josh TKO Turner.
Yep.
I actually went back and watched that little thing we did with them, and just Josh was just a massive shit talker and was not afraid to just like, I'll challenge Matt Hughes to a friggin' match. Yeah, I'll kick his ass. It's like Matt Hughes, former welterweight champion. Like,
yeah,
it's like, and then Shane Daniels was just like. It's like, oh man, I'll fight Dan Henderson, no problem. It's like Henderson, you know, the dude with the H-bomb, the dude who can knock out a friggin' rhinoceros with his fists.
Yeah, but can he Ace Ventura and slide out the rhinoceros's fake butthole?
Probably. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean,
that was pretty skillful.
That was extremely skillful. It's like, and look, kids, a rhinoceros is giving birth. Cool! Get in the car.
Yeah.
But
conventions are great, though. I've picked up some really cool games. You know, retro games are always
the collector.
Somehow there, regardless of what the convention is, there's going to be some retro games involved.
Well, dude, I mean,
some cool figures.
Retro games are always a staple of just like, it's nostalgia.
Should be mankind. Should be a staple of mankind at this point.
Well, it's a nostalgic staple, and nostalgia is one of the main callbacks of conventions. Like me, when I first went to one of my one of the first conventions I ever went to, I saw a Tiger Zord replica, or a Tiger Zord still in the box, and I'm like, I have one of those at home, and I do. I still got it up there. It's in my little toy crate that I got from my mom's, and dude, I just keep thinking about how everyone has their hustle at the conventions. Everyone's got their hustle. You know, and with us, you know, our hustle is really, you know, we're an internet commentary crew where, you know, we give our thoughts on stuff, and we can pretty much hold a conversation with almost anybody.
Yes.
I mean, that's...
to their dismay.
Yes.
Sad for them.
I remember one time when I was talking to, actually, it was a long time ago, I was talking to Craig Parker from Lord of the Rings, and dude, when I mentioned, when I told him that I knew certain places in New Zealand, when I told him about Whakamaru, which that's literally how they say it, it's the Maori lettering. Anytime you hear a W it's pronounced with a fwa, like with the F, and a town of what would be Wakamaru is Fuckamaru, which, and he was like, I can't believe you actually knew about that. That's actually pretty cool, man. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen some documentaries about New Zealand. I really want to go there one day. And I asked him, is it as beautiful as they say? And he goes, gonna be honest, man, it's even more beautiful. I'm happy to be from there. I'm like, you see, man, you're making me like want to like steal your passport and just like yeah, I'm Craig Parker. Never mind, I'm like 150 pounds heavier and much uglier. But Micah had the funniest comment about him. He's like, just listening to him speak, I want to just run through the forest and slay orcs with him.
Yes,
because he was one of the lead elves in Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. He was the one that arrived at Helm's Deep, and such a cool guy. And he also wore the Wolverine claws during the entire interview. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. I was just like, dude, imagine you as Wolverine. He's like, I know, but I don't hold a flame to Hugh Jackman. That guy's huge. He's like freaking massive. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? But
huge, jacked man.
That's I actually had that analogy a long time ago. I remember when I saw him like for photos of the Wolverine, and the dude looked like he was shredded out of a friggin' titanium, and I'm like,
he's a big one.
Oh, and in his 40s too, in his friggin' 40s, like 46. Like, no, you're giving me bad. You're making me look bad, man. I'm 32 and I look like this.
He's a savage.
He is a pure savage. I mean, just and an awesome actor. Yeah. Awesome actor. But conventions are an awesome place to connect with people, make business relationships, which is actually how I came to meet Jacob, because he was filming at Conapalooza, and that's how we came into contact. And
there you go.
There you go. The rest is history. I'd love to go to conventions and meet some other YouTubers and stuff like that, like go to Dragon Con and stuff like that. See who I could run into. I wonder if Wildcat ever does a convention in Nashville. I'll just show up and be like, "Hey, Wildcat, how you doing?" He'll just run away. He'll be like, "No, I've read about you.
Get the
fuck out of my convention." And I'm like, "Okay." I'll just sneak out. But the odd ones out did a video about conventions and how they miss them. Let's get it up on screen and let's see what happens. Here we go.
If you're one of those kids that spends too much time on that darn computer machine, then conventions are a great place to get the recommended amount of human interaction with others who share a similar interest. Or at least, they were. You might have seen some conventions in the news recently, you know, the ones like VidCon, Comic-Con, and E3, but did you know there's conventions for all sorts of different things, like coin collecting, pens, and degenerates? The first convention I ever went to was in Arizona called Phoenix Comic-Con. I was 16 years old, and it, no exaggeration, changed my life. I had heard a lot about geek culture online, but Phoenix Comic-Con was the very first time I witnessed it in its fullest. I was a very sheltered kid. It was the first time I'd seen a brony and a furry and whatever this is in the wild. That changes a person. I was told that it was not cool to like geeky things, and as a 16-year-old, I tried really hard to make it seem like I didn't secretly like a bunch of geeky things. But people at Comic-Con just embrace nerd culture like they don't care what people thought of them or something.
Exactly.
Is that allowed? I guess when I was 16, I was hyper desperate to receive everyone's approval. I was so hyper desperate that while walking around my first convention, I was stressing out that I wasn't in cosplay. Oh, all these pop culture characters are judging me because I'm not wearing any makeup. To this day, I still haven't ever cosplayed, but it looks like a lot of fun. If I did cosplay, I would want to go as this quadrupedic horse. Also Spark from Pokemon Go. I went to one panel called How to Make Steampunk Weapons, but instead of teaching us how to weld real-life weapons powered by steam, the people on the panel taught us how to paint Nerf guns to make them look like they were powered by steam. And that was, no exaggeration, the most disappointing panel I've ever been to. There was also a panel for bronies, but I was too chicken to go. Did I mention that my grandfather, who I'm named after, got drafted into World War II when he was 18? He fought in a war so I could go to a comic convention and be too nervous to talk to bronies. What a different life we had. At most conventions, people in the expo hall will sell a lot of super cool, unlicensed merchandise. Yeah, a lot of artists will sell prints and plushies and oven mitts with characters and titles they probably didn't get the license to sell, but if it's at a convention or on Etsy, then for some reason it's okay. I've always felt weird about buying that type of merch. On one hand, you shouldn't be allowed to make money off of someone else's intellectual property without the owner's consent. But on the other hand, look at this cool Bowser wallet, Bowser print, and Bowser bandana that I own. And this body pillow. It's a gray area because the people buying this type of merch are the hardcore fans. They know of the property these characters came from. They probably already own licensed merch of the character. The artist isn't claiming to have created the character either. It's a mutual understanding between buyer and seller that we both think Bowser is cool and we just want to buy as much merch as possible. You kind of have to take it on a case-by-case basis, but let me just say this to get it out there. You're not allowed to sell bootleg Ones Out merch. Phoenix Comic...
Well, why not? I mean, come on. I'm just joking. I've actually bought bootleg stuff before. And honestly,
I'm Captain Jack Sparrow, bro. I'm ridiculous about it. Like Magic cards, I will never buy another Magic card in my life. If I want to play a game of Magic cards with my friends, we'll use proxies. We'll print our decks, cut them out, put them in sleeves, and who cares? I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on that game in my younger days, and I feel like an absolute idiot for doing that.
Well, the thing with it is, dude, I mean, everyone, like I said, everyone's got their niche. Yeah. And right now, for you, Pokemon cards is your big thing.
Yeah, but like the amount of them that there are that I'm interested in is very small. Mm-hmm. All of them are valuable to a certain degree, and just because you can't play the game with them, they don't just lose their value. The value of those cards is decided by the market, not a company manipulating the game anymore.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I got sick and tired of spending stupid amounts of money on my cards, and then they go out of play, and now they're not worth any money. But the only way that I could stay competitive in the game was if I bought the cards that I needed, which were expensive while they were in play, but lost their value once they left play.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off, so I'll never do that again.
And I can get that, because for me, there's a shirt that I've wanted for the longest time, and they stopped printing them years and years and years ago, and like reprints online, people are charging like $70.
What is it?
It's the Family Values.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what I showed you, and I figured out how to make vector art, and now I'm just going to make my own. I'm going to make my own Family Values t-shirt, and I'm going to wear it out, and people are going to be like, oh my gosh, dude, I remember that tour. Because, you know, Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, the best of new metal, and some rap, and some awesome rap groups as well. Like, dude, that was my jam back in the day.
Yeah.
That was my shit.
That's how I felt about the Hookups t-shirts, and I just bought real ones for a little while and paid a lot.
Exorbitant
well, I mean,
amounts of
they're
money,
worth hundreds of dollars now, but I don't want to ever buy them again, and I can just make my own.
Yeah, same here. I mean,
so I'm over all that.
Yeah, and now and at conventions, you can buy that custom artwork that's like, for instance, Brian and Marie were commissioned by this lawyer to do an oil painting that featured Link from The Legend of Zelda, and they did it, and it was awesome. And Brian and Marie were commissioned to do the painting, and they pretty much just had to sign an agreement and staple it to the back, stating characters contained in this artwork are not the property of Bridgeforth Design Studios. Instead, Link, the character Link from Legend of Zelda, is in fact the property of Nintendo, Nintendo, and so and so and so and so. So they had to do that for legal ramifications in order to get paid for the painting
commission. Yeah.
Yes, in which that's the thing. It's a legal gray area that you have to occupy if you want to go to and live the con life, which is, I guess, one thing, the quote unquote con of it. But I don't really care, dude, because this stuff, the stuff you find at conventions is amazing, and if you want to pay for it, you should be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
To hell with trademarks. That's what I say anyway. Anyway, back to it.
Comic-Con actually had to change the name of their convention to Phoenix Fan Fusion because the people at the San Diego Comic-Con didn't like that Phoenix was stealing their name. These conventions that don't care about stealing other people's copyright are forcing others to respect their copyright.
Again, dude, the trademark system of the United States is absolute bullshit. It's just like this one company in the UK, they trademarked the term sky, and anything in the UK or in Europe that uses or in America for that matter, that uses the word sky, you have to get legal permission from that company in order to just say Sky in your friggin' game or your friggin' movie or anything. It's bullshit. I hate the friggin' trademark system in this country.
Interesting. As some of you may know, since 2012, I have become a little more successful, and in 2019, I got invited to be a guest at Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is my home convention. The really crazy part is the convention put me in the celebrity line, like next to the people where you have to pay for photos and autographs. I didn't charge my fans for anything, so that made my line appear a lot longer than others. And my line was, no exaggeration, right next to Jeff Goldblum's line. What? I was gonna make eye contact with Jeff Goldblum for a couple hours on Saturday, and when he came out from backstage, everyone in his line and my line started wooing and clapping, and even I was like... And then Jeff took a look at my line, then looked at me, and then gave me a nod of approval, saying, "Not bad, kid." He didn't say it out loud, but I could tell he said it with his eyes. He also said that I looked kind of cute, so thanks, Jeff. The first time I went to VidCon, that also, no exaggeration, changed my life. Again. It was the first time I met all these YouTubers that I've been watching for years, and, okay, I'll admit, at first I was kind of fanboy-y, but I've gotten completely desensitized meeting other YouTubers and feel no joy anymore. When I meet another YouTuber, I say, "Oh, you make videos in your bedroom?" "Me too." "Cool. People know that you're a bedwetter too, right?" "No?"
What? No.
"That's just me then." If you've ever given me something at a convention, then you'll be happy to know that I've kept everything I've ever been given. Unless you're the guy that gave me a plastic baggie full of water and other junk and called it a homemade snow globe. I used to collect snow globes, so it was a nice sentiment, but I didn't want to take it home with me and have it inevitably break and get all the important fan art wet. So I chucked it. And as I'm telling you this, there's some poor kid out there going, "Hey, he's talking about my snow globe. He threw it away?" And now I feel bad, so...
Here, I'll mail this to you, and you can get a taste of your own medicine.
I don't know why this is such a popular question, but a lot of times people will ask me, "What's the weirdest fan interaction you've ever had?"
Oh, God.
I think they think that some of you are cringy. I never have an answer for them because all my fans are super nice. Yeah, someone gave me a bag of water, but that's not weird, that's nice! Okay, I have received fan mail from a prison, which is true, so I guess some of you aren't law-abiding citizens. Going to conventions and meeting fans and being on panels is a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't give you a lot of time to really experience the convention. Since 2017, when I would go to a convention, it would mean I was working. I still had a fun time, but I didn't really get to just relax with friends. That is, until I went to a convention last December called MFF, which stands for Midwest Fur Fest. Now, James, did you go to a furry convention? Well, I went with some friends to a furry convention so that I could actually enjoy a convention and not have to work. Although I still got recognized even though I was wearing a disguise. Furries are very touchy people, I've learned.
Yes.
Not touchy as in overly sensitive.
As in,
some
they
probably
want
are,
to hug
but they're
you
also
and...
literally touchy. Let me tell you where I'm at in my life right now. Last December, I was in an elevator full of furries, and if my grandpa could see me now, he would probably be frowning. Or smiling, I don't know, I don't judge. We were all crowded in, there was a moose breathing down my neck, and we stopped at a floor because more furries wanted to come in, so I backed up to make more room, but I backed up a little too close to the moose, and he grabbed my hips, and I went, "Ah!" in my mind. I didn't say it out loud. In real life, I went... So that was probably the weirdest fan experience I've had, if you were still wondering. I don't know if he was a fan of my YouTube, but he was definitely a fan of my body. Or he was drunk. I don't know. Again, I don't judge. Yes. I was debating on whether or not I should include this story, but I think it would be a good lesson for everyone to hear. Here's my James PSA. This message is for everyone, and especially furries. Don't touch people without their permission. In the moment,
Agreed.
I stayed quiet, but that sort of behavior isn't okay, and I should have spoken out. Hopefully, most of you are mindful of other people's personal space. However, at least one of you went to prison, so... I don't know. Overall, it was the best ironic trip ever. At the end of the day, conventions are a lot of fun, and I really, really miss going to them. And when it's safe to do so again, I recommend you try and go to one you're interested in. And Grandpa, I'm sorry if I disappointed you. Hello, everyone. I hope you all aren't going too stir-crazy out there, especially with
No! Absolutely not! Everything's fine!
Convention, would it be called a convenient-tion? I don't know. Even though it's been almost a month since my birthday, thank you everyone who's wished me a happy birthday, and also thank you to my amazing team that's helped me out on this video. Be sure to check out their socials noted at the bottom right. Since it's getting pretty hot out there, I'm having a buy one get one half off on all my t-shirts currently listed in my merch store, so be sure to click the link in the description to check it out. One last thing, for all you people that stuck around listening to this end card, I'm planning on creating another card game in 21 days, and if you sign up to our newsletter, you get a free collector's card, so you don't even have to spend money to get it. And on that last final note, if you're ever planning on going to a convention in the future, make sure you wear your seatbelt.
Yes. That's what he always says at the end of every single one of his videos. Wear your seatbelt.
I'm just so disturbed by that furry interaction.
I had a furry interaction. I'm going to tell you all this. This does not mean I dislike furries. Here's the thing. I'm not down with, like, I don't dress up as a furry.
You can't grab a man by his hips.
No!
Standing behind him.
No!
I'm not judging all furries for that.
No,
but that one furry interaction is just...
That bull moose.
I'm just thinking, you know, a helmet will fly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, an uppercut. Yeah, definitely. A definite uppercut will follow if someone grabs my hips unexpectedly from behind.
Not good.
No, not good at all. So the whole thing with my furry interaction was, not a furry convention, but we do have furries in this area, and some of them are pretty dedicated. There's one, it's a blue wolf furry that I have encountered, I would say at least half a dozen times at multiple conventions around here, and every time he comes into our booth and sparks up a conversation about how interesting furries are, and you know how everyone should be a furry, and I'm like, that's cool, man. That's cool. I mean, I listened to him like the first time all the way through. You know, he sat there for like a good 20 minutes, just like gabbing it off and everything. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then by the third time, I'm just like, I really wish this guy would just go get shot and skinned somewhere.
He's not a real wolf.
You can't tell him that.
Well, for me, the whole situation with that is I want people to be able to do whatever they want to do to have a good time.
I do too.
And,
I don't care.
I don't care if you're wearing a moose
man.
outfit or not. You just don't go around grabbing people by the waist.
Yeah, you want to dress up as a genderqueer bull moose? I don't care. You do you. You be you. That's the whole point of being a furry and the convention life.
I'd say please do that if you feel the need to be, you know, a cyborg, you know, fluid gendered Spider-Man variant.
Exactly.
Then good. That was just something that I thought that would be like, you know,
or one of the 1,000 gender swapped Inuyasha characters. Oh my freaking god!
Just do it.
The amount of gender swap.
Don't be grabbing people randomly by the waist.
That's true. That is the biggest thing to take away from this. So if you are going to touch somebody, get their permission.
Yeah.
Or here's another thing too. This goes for fans as well. If you put your arm around a celebrity guest or something like that, and then they put their arm around your shoulder or down at your hip, you know, where you're doing it, then that's seen as generally mutual agreement of physical interaction. Now, if it's you engaging, then even if you're getting involved with the celebrity, you need to ask the celebrity, is it okay?
How about respect people?
Exactly. Respect people's personal space.
Respect the end.
Yeah, respect people's personal space.
How much is that?
Not
a lot.
No.
Just be respectful.
It's general respect. And every time I've interacted with somebody, like, fans have come up to me and asked me to, like, take a picture with them and everything. And they always ask me, and they've pretty much every single one of them has always asked me, is it okay if I, like, put my arm around your shoulder? I'm like, sure, go ahead. And me, I'm just like, all right. Just, like, lean in. I'm like, what's up? And
I'm always like, you got $5?
I don't charge, dude. I don't care. If people want to put out there, it's like, met Nate from Renegade Media Group, and I'm like, that's cool, thank you, because I remember that happening. When,
I'm not hard to please. Me, what is it? $350. $350.
By that time, I realized that little girl was about 17 stories tall, and I'm like, God dang it, monster!
Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, but I remember the one interaction, the weirdest but. I'd say the weirdest interaction, one of the best interactions I've ever had, was I was at Walmart,
With the Loch Ness Monster?
I wish. That would have been interesting. But I was at Walmart, and I was getting my truck worked on. Actually, no, this was back when I had my Kia Soul. I was getting my Kia worked on, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just sitting there reading a magazine, and then I'm like, nothing interesting in there. Still can't get any signal on my phone in the back of the damn store. So I look up, and Cars, the animated Pixar movie, is on, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this scene. And then I'm sitting there watching, and then I see out of the corner of my eye, like someone peer out of the back and like look at me, and I'm like, And the guy like goes back in, and then after that, I go back to watching the movie, and he peers his head out again, and I'm just like, does he think he knows me or something? And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, and then he walks up, he's like, are you Nate from the Renegades? And I'm just like, what's up, buddy? And then he's just like, oh! And I'm like in the back of the daggone Walmart, this guy screams out loud, and I'm just like, oh God, people are gonna think I'm attacking him. Oh God, what do I do? What do I do? And the guy's like, dude, I've been watching your guys' videos for like the last 2 years, man. I didn't know you were around here. And I'm like,
damn,
what's up, man? I mean, how you doing? And he's like, oh, gotta ask you. Wyndham, when's she coming back? And I'm like, I don't know. What Wyndham does is what Wyndham does. And then he's just like, I get that. And then we sat there and we talked for about a good 10 minutes. And he was just interested in how I got into YouTube. And I told him, you just got to dedicate yourself. You got to put in the work. That's the first step. And if things don't hit at first, change it up a little bit. Make micro changes.
Keep putting in the work, right?
Yeah, just keep doing the work. That's literally it. And
well, that had to be really nice to get some kind of a payoff, where somebody recognized you.
Well, I've had it happen.
They
a few
recognized
times.
you at the con too when I was with you when we were going to do that Q&A thing that turned into an interview with a really cool, creepy dude.
Oh yeah. What was it he talked about? An abandoned radio station?
All
or
kinds of
like
crap.
That?
Yeah, he ran a radio show.
Yeah. Thing is, they wanted to set us up on this impromptu thing because when they found out our YouTube channel had over 100,000 subs, they're like, well, we'll put you in a room and you all can have a thing. And I'm like, will anyone even show up?
Right.
And no one did.
Well, this one guy that came in and did an interview with us, and he ran like a, what was it, sci-fi radio talk show?
Yeah, sci-fi alien talk show.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was a really cool interaction.
But cons, man.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
What are we going to do when society turns back to normal, if it ever does?
I think it will eventually, and I think people will
probably be really. I mean, can you imagine how socially awkward cons are going to be after all this in comparison?
I can, because there's people who are going to be like in full, like full pullback mode. They're going to be like wearing masks, gloves.
Y'all have had time to get deodorant ready for this one.
Yes, you have.
Y'all have had time.
Yes. Wear your DO for your BO.
Please.
Or else you have to GO.
Please.
Thank you. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. This was Conventions. I Miss Them by The Odd Ones Out. James, if we ever see you at a convention, dude, just know this. You're cool.
We're not going to grab you by the hips.
No, we are not going to grab you by the
hips.
Dressed up as a bull moose.
Unless you want us to.
Unless that's a thing. Yeah, what's up? Anyway, everybody, thank you for tuning in. If you want to see the original video, link is in the description. And if you want to see more from us, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to stay notified. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I'll never tell.
And we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.